All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Global Speedrun Association with another World Peace Tournament Round 1 match. Today between JKB and Kalia, and I'm going to be having Timpani co-commentating with me. It's an honor. What's up, Timpani?
Yo, what's up, Lim?
So this is going to be an exciting one, and we do have both runners joined with us right now. JKB and Kalia both in this call. Let me quickly go through your guys' thoughts about this matchup. JKB, let's start with you. How do you feel with World Peace recently? How do you feel about this matchup?
So I haven't been playing a ton recently, so I've been doing wrestling the past few days. I feel like this is going to be a pretty close race, honestly. It kind of depends on if I screw up a ton of stuff due to not having played a ton, but we'll see.
Is there anything in specifically that you have been having issues with, like looking at maybe first Moonskip or just the clips in general? We have some extensive route changes now recently, since a lot of people have been looking at World Peace routing. Is there anything that went bad or like that?
The new first Moonskip has been a godsend, because then I didn't have to relearn the old, more finicky way. But other than that, no, it's not like anything in particular. It's just that like my movement probably isn't as crisp as it used to be, but hopefully I'll be fine.
Yeah, I think you got this. Let's get to Kali over here. Kali, I know you've been a pretty you've been a World Peace fan. You've been running this category and you've been getting back to it now, and I've seen you in the Discord as well. Pretty happy about these route changes and the changes in general made to the run. How have you been feeling with running the category recently?
I've stopped playing like a month ago, like a month and a half ago, and I came back like 2 weeks ago, I think. So I got the PB super recently, so I'm not sure about consistency, but yeah, it should be a fun race. Like, I met GKB at GDQ this year, so it's just going to be a fun race for me.
Oh yeah, for sure. And also, I guess the same question for you. Is there anything in particular that you've been having issues with, or that you feel like you're super prepared for? Anything to point out?
Like, I used to be super consistent at Snowmoon Clip, and now I have no idea why I have so much problem with it. Maybe wooded, like the first, the Flower Road skip, but other than that, I think I'm somewhat good.
Nice. It's definitely great to hear, and I think this is going to be a very close race. Definitely going to be an exciting one. So I think we are good to go on our side. You can definitely go ahead and go to the title screen, get ready for this race, and I wish you guys best of luck.
Good luck,
thanks.
I should have thought of that. Sorry.
We see them on the other side.
Yep.
All right, Timp. How do you feel about World Peace, actually? I think I haven't been able to talk to you about these new route changes yet. I'm not sure if you're running it much.
I have not been on it because I've been on that darker side grind, but I have been keeping up to date with everything that has been changing, because I have my own notes that I do periodically update as I read the channel. Like I know about, I've been practicing the Dram route for Sand, and the I actually originally suggested the
Dorian.
Yeah,
I was about to bring that up, because if I remember correctly, Neo mentioned that you actually had the idea to route Dorian.
It was something I noticed when actually doing, I think it was Darker Side, where Dory was just kind of parked up next to the hot spring.
Yeah.
And I just thought it seems like it might be a good idea. And then they just kind of flew with it.
And even though we did get the waves left behind moon, which seems like a pretty quick moon, because all you need to do is ground pound. It obviously does come with a lot of cutscenes after you ground pound, where the moon like spawns and then flies to the right position. So it does make sense to route that out. But I think we are on our way. Both of these runners are going to be playing on version 1.0. So we will be seeing 2 first moon skips and potentially even 2 sewer clips. We don't know. We have seen double sewer clip races before. I'm going to be looking at that one.
I will say I would be very surprised if JKB did not opt for the sewer clip, because I know he is a very big fan for that.
He's the pipe clip madman. I remember casting an any percent race from him where he clipped back and bounce after swing slip and immediately just went for the pipe clip in the shifting sands, I guess, room, and then immediately went back into the swing loading. Some pretty sick stuff.
But I mean, Cap is pretty much same old for every category, I think, even except maybe Hundo, because of some coins along the way.
Yeah. I guess
Nothing
you could
else.
say some categories would grab the checkpoint, especially looking at darker side.
Right, yeah.
He obviously doesn't need that yet, so they can just immediately go for the left side. Moving, I'm not sure if what JKB did there was intended, where he did get like a capped return jump, flying over the bridge right there, probably losing some speed, but actually ending up just barely behind Kalia.
Ooh.
Oh. Definitely not intended. Ooh, Kali with the water power rolls. Unfortunately misses the frog capture. JKB with the ledge grab. Pause buffering, he does it all.
Cappy's being a bit mischievous already for both.
And especially, actually, I'm not sure if they both are going to be doing the sand, the new route in sand. You actually want to be confident with your control over Cappy, because you do need to do dram, you do need to do this checkpoint grab, where you need to recapture the bullet bill after grabbing the checkpoint. So if you're not confident, you might have a little problem with that. Both rounds actually opting for right side here.
Actually, I would say there's even less incentive for right side in World Peace, as unlike any percent, you don't actually need any coins.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe they just weren't feeling it today.
That's something that I've been having some issues with, actually. Every time I fight Madame Brutal in World Peace, I feel like I just go and pick up the coins, and sometimes I mess up the timing because of that. And then I realize I don't even need coins, which is like very frustrating. But that's just the 80% muscle memory.
I did try a little thing with... Oh, wait, with Brute. Oh, I find that some people just get the coins anyway, because I remember Tissue himself saying it helps with the timing for the third phase to just get the coins.
I can see that, yeah. Especially if you do have the muscle memory. So let's look at this though, because I'm not sure if we've seen the new FMS in a race yet. This is once again something that Tuval found, I guess like 3 days ago, maybe only 2 days. Kali definitely opting to go for it right here. And we did find that there's a way to skip the first moon and go beyond the invisible wall, jumping against the wall here and then sneaking through. Kali actually getting it without a dive. I've not seen that yet. Getting it first try. JKB struggling a little bit.
Not getting the return jump. Whoa! Cat return jumps are a bit annoying, I found.
Not quite making it through the invisible wall right there.
Yeah,
he gets the ledge grab. Nice.
Carla actually bonked on the way up to Dino, so he's going to make up a little bit of time back there by not falling down.
Also missing the Dino skip right there. This is going to cost him some time again. JKB might have the chance to immediately catch up on this. Kali did get the water FMS first try, which is obviously nice to see. Very recent discovery.
Hmm.
And yeah, JKB, at least for now, not opting to get any coins. Let's see if he's going to get them in this third phase here.
Nope, just straight up ignoring him. I actually typically go for... I don't go for it in both waves. I just typically wait until the final one. But neither of them went for the coins here. JKB having a bit of trouble.
Oh, this is going to be close. Oh, wait, okay, that didn't work. I saw Madame Brutal step up there, and usually when he steps up, you can't get the fast hit. So JKB losing some additional time in that boss fight.
It's always an upsetting one for me. Just getting that little... Not... What would you call it? Where the Cappy just doesn't hit the hat, so... And it just becomes incredibly awkward.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, this is one of the most muscle memory reliant fights, in my opinion. Like every time I take a break of this game, it feels like I get incredibly much worse, especially at this boss fight, because this is when you run a lot, this boss fight will feel super free for you because you know the timings, you know the inputs so well. But every time I take a short break, I have massive problems with that fight.
Yeah, I can see that. So one thing I actually learned recently, actually it's not even going to come into play here because they're both on 1.0. But I learned that, I think I said this before actually, the chess move's actually faster for 1.2. But as obviously they're both on 1.0, they're going to have to get both anyway.
So I still want super specific numbers for this, because obviously if you do just a normal chess clip, it's probably going to be close. But we've seen some very insane chess clips, like Strauss and people in Econ as well have figured out a way to get the chess clip without even standing on top of the chest. So they'll open the chest
right
before even getting there, and then still get the moon clip. And that way, it just has to be faster. I think Yuya sent a clip with the normal version where he stands on top of the chest and timed it to be 0.5 seconds faster already. So I think it has a very high chance to be faster on 1.2 as well.
I think I actually golded a split since I made the switch. in Cascade with a good clip, but
Okay, yeah.
it still wasn't like optimal. Like I didn't do, like, as you say, I didn't open the chest before.
Yeah, I don't do that. That's very hard timing. Obviously, if you miss, you won't get the clip, and then at this point, the moon would be slower. But yeah, it's getting already now to the point. World Peace is getting to the point now where we do need to time stuff more specifically because we have so many choices, and some of them are so close that even a better movement choice can change a route. Like if someone finds optimal movement for a moon, it suddenly might be the best option.
I am very curious as to how they're both going to approach sand here, as they both said they're derusting or taking a break. So it could be a good excuse to learn the new route.
Yeah. That's what I did, because I just recently got into the category and I immediately learned the newest route, but the newest route right now would actually skip the Dune Moon and go over to Archway immediately. Kali doesn't seem to do that right now. So he's probably not going to be doing the luggage moon and night where you break the cage and like the timed fastest route right now. JKB also opting for this version, probably still using Dram though.
This Dune Moon skip is something I actually haven't practiced yet, like the night movement to luggage. Since it's very recent and I haven't had the chance to get some World Peace practicing yet.
It's also pretty tricky because you do, I mean, optimally you want to get the first bullet, and I think like Kali is actually opting to do
the
old sand route here.
I mean, that's fair. Like, if you're not confident with Dram, you're probably not going to... I don't really know what the actual... I don't want to give specific numbers because I don't know, but I've heard it's not a huge time save, and if you're not going to get Dram, you're not really saving much at all.
Yeah, I'm also not going to be throwing around random numbers right now, but I'm definitely sure that the Dram version of this route is faster, and you could even gain a little bit more time save if you were to skip the Dune Moon and then get the cage and all of that jazz. JKB with a very interesting version of Jax is pretty exotic for my eyes.
Yeah, I noticed that.
I think that's the OG version, actually.
Looks like they're both opting for the well, actually, Carlo's getting luggage, which wasn't, I believe, in the old route.
Yeah, that's something I've seen Dangers do in streams, where he would just do the quote-unquote old route, but get luggage instead.
And then skip chest.
And skip chest. Yeah, skip the treasure
Carlo
chest.
goes straight in.
First try. I mean, this is version 1.0. Once again, makes this trick way easier. Skipping the bullet bill, that's also interesting, because the bullet bill did get time to be faster. JKB having some issues on the clip, gets it right there, though.
There you go. Not too long. Not held up too long on it, though. That's fine.
Oh, JKB opting for the camera manipulation and also grabbing the bullet bill here. So if he did it right, he can just skip the damage here and just run through the section.
Looks good.
Looks like he got it.
My visual cue for getting that camera manip is usually if the bullets are just coming through the first hole. Typically that means it's fine.
Oh, Kali actually grabbing Secret of the Inverted Mural here, which is a pretty... I mean, it's not a slow moon, obviously, but it was timed to be quite slower than the other options we have. But I guess the route that he chose...
I'm curious what he's getting at night then.
Okay. Wait. I mean, they both did the same route so far. Wait, did JKB also got luggage, right?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so both getting the 2D moon.
They both have the same amount of moons, so...
Interesting. I think... yeah, I think they're only gonna get Goombas, the Goomba stack then in Night Metro, in Night Sand, I guess. And the other 3 moons will be from these boss fights. So basically,
I'm trying to remember the old route.
I mean, that should be it, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what you would. No, yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah, sorry, I'm just because I've got new route mentality.
Yeah, obviously. So they're still going to be skipping, as we said. They basically swapped out the treasure chest for luggage, and that's the change they made in this route, basically.
Yeah, so the reason we did get chest for so long was because we didn't know about the... Was it you, I believe, actually, that found out that you could...
The first version, the first one that ever encountered it is, I think... Dude, I don't want to make a miscall. It was either Tuval or Minyash, and then I actually went into Sand and made some testing, and we found out that the not holding Y in the bullet bill is faster, yeah.
Yeah, and that was enough to make it across the gap with 1 bullet bill, which made Chest Moon a lot slower as a result. Like, because if we had to stop for the extra bullet bill, it made Chest more
obviously
viable.
yeah.
And I think we just kind of didn't change the route when that was discovered because no one was really giving World Peace much attention at the time.
Mhm.
So it was just kind of archaic routing at the time.
Yeah, and then also, I mean, the chest moon does seem kind of fast because we obviously figured out some decent movement for it. But as soon as you see how fast the bullet bill goes through that section, if you perform this not hold Y mechanic, you just know how that's gonna be the faster way if you get luggage instead.
Yeah. Well, this is one of my least favorite parts of the old route, having to dodge all the mummies.
But yeah, I mean, I just recently got into the category. I actually thought that people were grabbing GSA in this old route because I didn't even see the old routes. But I mean, it does make more sense to skip on him entirely and just roll here.
Yeah, I believe there was some testing recently to see if it was viable to actually buy the
get
GSA.
yeah.
But I was an advocate against that because I like the unique element of this category not needing any coins.
Exactly. That's quite comfy. And Kali's going to be coming up at the bullet bill trick here. I don't even know if there's like an official name, but I always call it bullet bill trick.
Yeah,
Interesting way to perform with a long jump. I usually just do a single jump.
I am
He's actually
long
holding
jump
Y. Can he even make that?
Uh-oh.
Wait.
Ooh.
Oh. Does he know? I think he knows. I hope he knows. Oh no, JKB missing the fast bullet bill capture. So Kali is still okay. He didn't get the fast speed though. I'm not sure if he can make that. Oh, it's gonna be close. Oh, okay.
He just barely makes
JKB.
JKB struggling with the bullet bill trick. This is a very, even now after doing so many runs with this trick, it's still very scary to me.
Oh yeah. I don't like the way. I mean, okay, that's a good save. I guess that's the easiest way to save it if you do the long jump. Usually, what I do is I just do a single jump, so I'm below the bullet bill. It's scarier because you can't save it. It's harder to save.
My
it feels nice.
As a long jump boy myself, I like to if I miss the bullet bill, I'll do the rainbow spin. Or no, if I miss, if I get a late return.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, being a long jump boy there is probably going to be coming in handy because, especially in a race, you don't want to mess this up. But JKB, even with these little mess ups here on the bullet bill capture, still able to be just barely behind because obviously Kali did have that mess up in the bullet bill travel section.
I'm wondering if anybody does. I recently pointed out, I don't know if I was the one to discover this, but I mean, I found it myself, like, for myself in a run. If you actually shake once during the first and second phase, you get an immediate shake on the third phase, which makes the third phase very much faster.
Wait, you mean like with the fist?
Yeah, if you shake once on the first and second phase, you will guaranteed get an immediate shake on the third phase, which is very, very fast. As you can see, like there, Carla's third phase, he didn't get the immediate shake. I think JKB has been doing it, so we might see the difference there.
As far as I know, JKB also being the one that actually timed it to be faster to roll on the other side of the arena. So Naklotech turns around, which apparently saves a second on every cycle, or maybe half a second per cycle and a second in general.
There you go.
He did get the instant shake, but he did obviously...
Yeah, I think he got juked by Naklotech.
Yeah, exactly.
But you can see like how fast he... Because, I mean, in the first and second phase, you don't really need the second shake because you're already at max speed. After the first one, and just the instant acceleration on the third phase is very, very nice.
Exactly. All right, so Sand Kingdom done. Interesting route choice. Probably, in my opinion, that's probably the safest fast route right now because you don't have to do dram, you don't have to do any sketchy checkpoint grabs or any sketchy bullet bill movements. Like Night Sand actually gets pretty hard if you opt for the dram route. But it is quite a bit faster. Anyways, still probably picking the safest version and getting it just nicely. Some mess-ups in the Naklotech Ice Cave, but other than that, decent, not too far between these two guys.
Mm-hmm.
And coming up, Lake Kingdom. And Lake Kingdom is not really different from any percent, but
same.
Still gotta beat the boss.
Though, it will actually... I mean, I haven't kept up with any percent, but from what I understood, was it possible that any percent optimally might not actually fight Rango?
Yeah, I mean, any percent might not. I mean, obviously, World Peace can skip on the fight, but in any percent, Lake might be different. I mean, we've even seen some runners try it in real runs. Tra was one of them, trying to make this route work. And ultimately, it would save some time, but it does require you to do a very tricky wall clip, which is entirely different of any other wall clip. It's not a roll cancel clip. It's like a surface clip where you run into a specific part of the wall where the collision is just not correctly coded. And yeah, once again, Minyash, the Nintendo co-worker, finding this one. I'm actually confident that he's a secret Nintendo co-worker, but
yeah, I mean, that would make another kingdom different for this. Because, I mean, obviously, World Peace has some similar kingdoms, namely after lunch, and the rest becomes the same because you're required to do everything in World Peace as is.
Anyways, exactly. I like that cheap capture from Kali that he was diving into the water and somehow still got a very quick capture. Let's see if JKB can do the same. Oh, actually, opting to not get the cheap yet. He's probably going to be getting it on his way out.
Well, was that spin throw?
Interesting.
I liked it.
Okay, Kalia not skipping the wall jump here with the cheap, losing a little bit of time because you can skip that if you do the correct cheap movement.
That's
also interesting start for Rainbow. Walk into jump dive.
I will say that wall jump actually is something I have been neglecting to learn for a very long time. The skip, I wonder if JKB will go for it.
Doesn't look like it because usually... Oh, he still barely manages to do it. I was right about to say you want to swim on the surface for a little bit before you make your jump.
You get like a bit extra height, right?
Yeah, exactly. He was even going for some RCJ strats there, but did end up missing them.
Not much going on, just the end of lake now.
And would it being the very next game? I'm pretty sure we are not going to be seeing any, I guess, gate skips is, I guess, the official name these days to abuse nut clip in a way that you can skip not only the gate, but also the uproot capture and the way of moving with the uproot to get close to the climb the cliff to get the nut moon. I do know my names now, Timpani, by the way. I'm not sure if you noticed, but not pretty sure we won't see them.
I actually do always go for this because if you give yourself the extra second to change the camera, it is not very easy, but it is a lot easier.
Yeah, exactly. Like what I usually do, and I think that might even still save time because I'm so used to nutclip and I can kind of use this as a nutclip practice like tool. In World Peace, I would just go for nutclip and I would just go through the wall and then spin throw roll and would still be a little bit faster than falling down and diving back and then go for the spin throw.
That's actually what I used to do. Because I mean, it looks cool and it's not hard to do.
And it is some free nutclip practice because obviously in other categories, naming the any percent, it is way more important. Kali having some issues there, hitting the bunny, but did recover quite nicely.
My least favorite bunny. Actually, that's all of them. Never mind.
Imagine bunny. To be honest, I like the bunny in Darker Side, the one in Bowser's. If you do the spin throw strat that we've been talking about.
Yeah. Okay, that one's
kind of cool.
Probably the only friendly one.
We are going to be seeing another bunny in this run.
No nut clip from Carla. Just wants to get the nut and get out of there.
Let's see. JKB tries to do any fancy stuff on that moon. Doesn't look like it.
No.
And once again, it's actually possible to use nutclip, go out of bounds, and then jump over this gate, so you won't have this gate opening cutscene and also skip the entire uproot section here. But it is quite risky because if you fail, you will be probably ending up in the deep woods, which is an unescapable zone in this game. Kalia getting stuck there. Kalia got stuck there.
Carla's got a pretty solid lead at the moment, but it's definitely nothing that one mistake wouldn't change.
Exactly, like just imagine him missing tower skip or something that already would probably erase that lead.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty interesting stuff. I just recently, I've been looking into the section a little bit. I've been also coming up with some weird ideas there, but I've also been watching your clip of doing tower skip like the other way, which seems quite interesting.
It's not. It's precise, but it's not something that you couldn't get consistent at.
No, I can see that, yeah. Because obviously flower road skip is quite precise as well, but people are just usually consistent at it. Carly having some issues and at this point just deciding to play it safe and use the flower road here. Even going up these wooden blocks, which at this point is probably just as fast, so I cannot blame him.
JKB getting the flower skip. Flower skip, sorry. I actually opt for the spin pound version of that.
Yeah, I had massive issues without the spin pound. Ever since I started to do the spin pound, this trick has been way better for me because I get...
Right.
It just feels better. Like, you can control your angle better, in my opinion. But yeah, both of them getting tower skip JKB a little bit sloppy there, but Kali had a very clean tower skip for sure.
Yeah. I actually, my tower skip definitely needs some work, but I'm still in the position of stuff. As long as I get up there, I'm fine.
I can see it, but I've seen crazy stuff. I've seen Eggert like run up the tower from the inside and like single jump onto the platform. Some cool stuff I've been seeing, but these are like the small movement optimizations, as you said. As soon as you make it up, you'll be happy. Especially like in a race setting, because missing that will not only obviously kill you, but you will also end up at the piranha section. So you do need to redo flower roads, or just walk up the flower road. Or do Timpani's version of of tower skip. That would actually be a pretty sick backup.
Yeah, it's the backup now.
Yeah. That would actually be a pretty sick backup. Imagine someone putting that off in a race.
Don't look at me.
Uh-oh. But anyways.
So now they've got to fight Torque Drift, of course.
Yeah. And I'm not sure how you handle this section. Carly losing some speed and not skipping the waterfall on the right side, which is what I do. And I think I have some good movement for this, but every time I get there, I'm getting so scared because of the massive lag the game has when you dive over to these tanks. I don't know if you have any strat to avoid that, but for me the game lags massively.
I actually haven't had any issue with lag. Maybe that's a physical thing.
Yeah, maybe that's actually a physical thing. Because every time I get to the section and try to do a dive, I get super scared to drop it because it lags so much. But I guess that might actually be a physical only problem.
Yeah, I've never really had any issue with dropped inputs in this specific area.
Alright. Both of them picking up the rocket flowers to get this fence moon as quick as possible. Oof.
There is a very, very hard version of this fence nut moon, where you can actually save the rocket flower and take it back. And
oh no.
I've only managed to do that once. But
well, JKB having some issues there with the wall.
Yeah.
Kalia playing aimbot though, making these shots very, very quickly.
These shots are deceptively difficult. These cannonballs really like to get in your way.
Yeah, and as far as I know, they are actually random. Like, there's no real pattern to them. They will be shooting out randomly.
Yeah.
So you do need to react to them. So Torque Drift coming up, arguably the easiest boss. I guess easiest big boss in the game. There's a few of them fighting for that spot, but for Torque Drift, all you really need to do is shake. I guess that's literally it.
I think I would say it's probably the easiest. And I mean, the game gives you a free pass to just sit and wait through the downtime with the grey blocks on the edge.
Exactly.
If you wanted to. However,
if you
want to be fast, you would want to.
I hope he didn't jinx Kali though, because he already took 1 HP of damage, and that's the one way you can mess up this fight, especially when he starts moving. If you shake too early, you can land on top of these little brick blocks, and then suddenly you will actually hit the hitbox of the boss and take damage.
One thing to note is what Carla was doing just there, trying to jump on the mound. If you land in the right spot on that mound, you will get a faster speed with the uproot, and when you come out of a bounce, you won't get stopped temporarily. Which I believe I hear the term "speedy nutboy" a lot.
Yeah, I guess that's the unofficial name these days. I've been hearing different names for him, but I guess Speedy Nutboy it is.
I'm noticing Carla's confidence as well, because there are actually hearts on the edge of the arena if he wanted to get them, but he actually has chosen to not take any.
Let's see if he's gonna regret that or not. but 2 HP should be enough for this last phase. Pretty interestingly, by the way, we have been seeing people to clip through the floor in this
I
fight.
was waiting until it was over to say anything.
Yeah.
Because I did not want to jinx anything.
It is true. JKB is still fighting the boss, and I think this only really happens when you actually hit, like when you hit him after you hit the brick blocks, right?
I don't actually know what causes it. I've only had it happen once, and it was when I was moving around a lot underneath him trying to hit him, and I just died as a result.
Yeah, and this feels like getting robbed, obviously, because imagine being in the last phase and you just fall through the floor.
It has actually killed a run for me before in AUM, actually, in the rematch, which was not a fun time. But it seems to be very rare, fortunately, and it wasn't an issue here.
Well, anyways, let's look into Cloud Kingdom, which is obviously exactly the same as in any percent. All we need to do is defeat Bowser and then leave the place again.
One thing I have noticed about Cloud Kingdom, despite how small it is people seem to have very many different ways of actually getting into the arena. With the cloud platforms, I mean.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, let's see how this goes. I'm right now. I'm already mainly interested for Metro. I gotta be honest, obviously because it is a different kingdom than in any percent, but also because I'm curious to see what routes they're going to be choosing, because there also have been some timing information that we just recently came out that you can actually grab the piled on trash or piled below. Who piled trash on this is the actual name. You can pick up that instead of bench friends and be a little bit faster.
I'm very much saddened by the loss of bench friends in the route.
Yeah, he's gone entirely. No matter what route you do, you won't get bench friends optimally.
Can we really call it world peace?
Not really, dude, because he's still going to be sitting there, you know what I mean? Like, there's going to be peace in the entire world, but this guy is still going to be sitting on that bench. He's still going to be sad.
I would like to push for the new verification method being to talk to the guy in post.
Dude, that's genius, because I don't like talking to that. Let's do that.
I've actually never seen Carla's third phase, he actually did damage and stuff. I've actually never seen anyone do that.
Oh wait, did he?
Yeah, he did it damageless.
That's interesting. I mean, I guess it's just the same as in the second phase. It's just way easier to do if you are closer to the head, so people would just damage boost because they won't lose anything, you know, because you will get refilled and lost anyways.
I was quite worried for JKB there, but he seems to be okay.
He got it. All right, Lost Kingdom coming up. Kali trying some roll cancels there. Oh, well, interesting.
I have not seen that version of Meme Tree in quite a long time, actually.
Yeah, going for the cap dive into an extended triple jump, I guess, using the first cap bounce as the first jump.
That was the way I used to do it when I first started running this game.
I mean, Kali did say that he obviously did take an extensive break and just recently, and this is like a strat that you probably wouldn't relearn, because all of that other stuff that got found, like Nut Clip and these very big time saves, Meme Tree is one of the versions where you can just pick your old execution, I guess.
Of course.
Alright, so oof.
Oh, of course, Lost being another kingdom that's no different due to not having any I mean, I guess you could argue that we should probably defeat Klepto, but we don't have to do that.
Yeah, because I mean the game kind of takes him out of the kingdom anyways as soon as you beat the game, so you technically defeat him when you're done with Moon. So there is world peace. One thing that I've been recently finding is when I've been doing some bingo learning for the upcoming bingo tournament, I realized that Klepto is actually still there if you activate him and return to the. He sits on like a different tree. I got scared.
I actually, when I did an All Moons No Post game run, I learned this the hard way.
Oh
I
no!
was not aware of it.
And then I just realized, wow, it all makes sense now. There's also these staircases on this other like poison lake.
That's how I have a very strong memory that he is going to be there until you beat the game. But Carla getting out of Lost pretty solidly, no tragedies, which I mean it's very possible in Lost always.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, Klepto is kind of out of the way right now. The thing is, if you die in Lost, he will be ready to go again, so you need to reactivate him. Let's see if JKB can... Oh! Get this moon. This is obviously a pretty costly mistake. He doesn't need to reactivate Klepto to get this moon.
As long as he remembers to not touch the ground after getting this moon.
Exactly. He cannot walk on the bridge.
Okay.
Oh, okay, close call, but he makes it.
Yeah, he
He's not going to be saving himself, but that doesn't matter. Doesn't matter much, at least.
So Carl is coming into Metro now. Got quite a sizable lead, but I mean, Metro is in World Peace. I don't know. How do you feel about Metro World Peace?
One thing that I wanted to point out before, I mean, it's still going to be a while until we get there, like 8 minutes or something, or like let's say 7. But Festival has actually been very scary in this tournament so far. The match that I've been casting, both of the runners were on 1 HP in the last room, and Stravos was on 1 HP even entering that room. So it was pretty, and he didn't know where the hearts are. He literally said in the post game interview he didn't even know where the hearts are. So he had to go through this room in basically casual strats.
I will admit, I have died in Festival before.
Oh, I have, yeah. Pretty recent clip on my stream.
Oh
no, Cardia.
Oh.
But he's not gonna.
It's not. If he knows how to back it up, it's not too much of a time loss here.
I think he tried to roll on top of Cappy here, so he is gonna be defaulting to this, I guess, intended save, even though it's obviously there's no intended save in this game. They're just taking the slow route here, but that's definitely going to be a chance here for JKB to catch up if he manages to get that movement right.
Yeah. I have actually been very scared of Night swaying in the breeze since the one time where I have just dove straight over it.
Yeah, I've been looking into some strats for this moon. I've been doing like a power roll into like a roll cancel double jump off the railing. And it sounds like a lot of things to do, but it actually feels quite natural. Also, what JKB did there seems pretty easy, just doing a dive into a double jump.
Yeah, because you don't have to worry about the checkpoint here, like the heliport checkpoint.
You still do want to pick up the one on top of the city hall.
Ooh.
That Carly just got. Oh, JKB gonna be missing the early elevator cycle here. Guess the second one, I guess. That should be the second one, I guess. I think. It's not really easy to keep track of where the elevators actually
especially
going.
when they're not on screen. Fortunately,
the elevator was at least there when you got there.
Yeah, I was gonna say he caught the actual end of this, or the beginning of the cycle, so that's good.
Still needs to do this blind jump here, but the camera really likes to mess with you. As Kali is already fighting Mecha Wiggler, I like to say.
Now, Mecha Wiggler has, I mean, most people don't typically, not anymore anyway. Mecha Wiggler is pretty much just going through the motions at this point for most runners. But I have had trouble with him recently.
Oh yeah, it's actually been happening to me. I think my current PD actually has a 3 cycle in this category because, and I actually felt like I got robbed. Sometimes it feels hard for me to judge which of these fireballs I actually want to shoot, because if you shoot them all, the Megler will stop in his tracks earlier, and it's going to be harder to shoot him. And sometimes it feels hard for me to judge which of the fireballs I want to shoot to get like a free way to shoot him while he's crawling on the wall. Still probably need to look a little bit more into him.
Carla getting the nice 2 cycle actually.
Sure.
I don't think we were actually stopped. I think it was pretty good.
That's what he wants right now. However, I guess the main part of Day Metro is not as scary as in any percentage. There's not as much. Oh, it's gonna be close. Oh, he still gets it a nice shot there. Still getting the 2 cycle.
I was worrying. I might have spoke too soon. Fortunately, clutch is out.
Oh, Kalia almost jumping off at the very start, capturing the wire unintentionally. Needs to back it up here, but now he gets the moon and he's going to be getting this capture ward as well. So I feel like Day Metro, especially in World Peace, is definitely not as extreme. I mean, it's not extreme in any percent, but it's a little bit more chill because the main part is obviously talking to musicians here. Oh, we are actually going to be seeing bench friends at least today.
Well, now I'm happy.
Yeah, and our bench boy is probably going to be happy as well.
I'm noticing still using the screw. Actually, I've learned that apparently the screw is not the best. I don't like, because I remember I used to use the screw specifically for guitarists. Like, you would leave it here and get drummer, and it would still be here when you come out, and you would drive down to guitarist. But he's actually doing guitarist first.
Interesting. I mean, it doesn't matter. Obviously, you can get the musicians in any order. But I think optimally, if you take the right angles and if you roll at the right times, because you can actually transfer the pylon, like the pole momentum, onto your rolls.
Right,
like,
yeah.
Running after the pole, you can just press R, press Y, and immediately keep the rolling speed. So if you take the right angles, the rolling should be faster.
There you go. Actually, JKB taking the new way round and using the poles. Also, he did opt for bench friends as well, which made me smile again.
I've actually seen Dangers do a strat there where he throws Cappy back onto one of these poles and then homes after Pauline to make his way over to the guitarist.
It's very, very awkward, but it is doable.
It is doable, yeah. But I think ultimately you even need to turn around again to have the pole on screen because it gets kind of weird with these captures.
Because I think when you talk to Pauline, the camera obviously centers on her.
Wait, I just realized you can just jump on that metal thing that Carlo jumped on.
I
didn't know that. I fell there so many times. I feel so cheap now.
One thing I do when I long jump off that railing, I just release the trigger until I'm actually on the railing, and I've never rolled off since.
Yeah, but I'm pretty greedy, and I usually try to cap dive after Cafe Moon, like to cap dive into the long jump, and I've been falling way too much. So I at least know, I guess, a race safe strat.
Yeah.
No.
So just the musician gathering at the moment. JKB using the poles here down the street instead of the skewer. Got stopped by the fire hydrant though. But pretty fine.
Yeah, once again, if you take optimal lines, I mean, he did get stopped by the fire hydrant, but if you take optimal lines, the pole should just be a little bit faster than taking the scooter. Alright, so one more musician to go for Kalia, gets it. And I'm actually not completely sure, did he get...
he has 16 moons, so he should be to go. So I'm assuming he's going to do Sewer Clip because Sewer Treasure is pointless.
Exactly, the Sewer Story Moon obviously yields him in 1 moon, and then he still gets the Festival 1.
I'm assuming Jacob is the same, like his Trumpeter Moon is going to be the 16th as well. There you go.
Okay, let's see how this is going to be going for Kalia. Actually, no wall slides, which is something that I have not really seen. I guess it should, I mean, it obviously has to be possible as well, but usually, at least at the very first attempt, people would wall slide, but he gets it right there. Probably still saving time.
I was noticing a bit of a... He would ground pound, but not roll cancel there quite a bit. I was wondering what was going on there, but I mean, he got it pretty quickly. See if JKB nails it down, as he's been known to.
Okay, let's see. Probably no spin point executions here. Pretty fast setup though. He does it on top of the pipe, and I've heard it actually wouldn't make any difference between the lower pipe of the part or the higher one. He does actually struggle a little bit here though.
I do,
Uh-oh.
I may have inflicted some commentators curse there.
Okay, I guess he's through the wall right now. Probably just being as fast as going through the sewers, but shouldn't really matter, especially in a race setting like this. Still a long race to go, and now the most scary part of the race, and obviously immediately starting with the bonk, is still coming up. Festival. We've seen some pretty scary moments here. Pretty scary moments happening in this tournament already. Obviously not in this race, but between Equid and Stravos, this event in particular was very scary.
Ooh. I've not seen the roll vault onto the button there before. that JKB just
Huh,
did.
that's interesting. I actually tried to come up with movement there, and I did like a dive, spin pound, cap dive, dive, spin pound.
I
That
actually,
makes sense for you?
yeah,
Oh.
I actually recently changed my movement there so I could actually get the spin pound. Because originally I could not do it with my spacing.
But I like that strat as well. So far, Kali having a clean festival though. He did skip all of the barrels there and did even the longer 2D jump to skip both of the fire pits in this one room. So he's on 3 HP right now, which is very nice because you can even intentionally damage boost in some places. Because what is hard about this room, it sometimes feels hard to judge where you actually need to wait and where you can just jump. But as we see right here, he was just able to damage boost through his barrel.
I do love watching the final room of this festival done well. It's always very satisfying. If you if your cycles line up well, it looks really nice.
I also like the way Kali was crowd surfing there.
Yeah.
In the very last room with the double crowd surf. JKB also nice room with the nice upside down room. Kali's gonna be done here with Metro Kingdom, heading over to Snow. Oh, JKB taking his first hit. Uh-oh. Taking another one, 1 HP. Last room. Probably just gonna be playing it safe here if I was him. Oh no, this was such a close call.
Oh
no! No one look.
Oh.
I mean, it had to happen at some point. And I guess actually starting the any percent tournament, Lost felt like the Cursed Kingdom. I guess it's gonna be the festival in this one. And even though, like, obviously Ruined is a meme in any percent, and rarely people die there, I think way more people die in festival than they'd like to admit.
I mean, when you're trying to do this festival fast, it can just be like if you make one mistake, your cycles are going to be off from what you expect, and it can. I was going to say barrel out of control, but I don't want to make the pun.
It's too late to apologize.
But it's too late now.
Well, that's going to be interesting, because obviously JKB still needs to finish the festival right now. Kali, however, is going to be coming up in very shortly here to the Snow clip, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be opting to at least try the Moon clip, because I do know that he's been looking into the Moon clip quite early on.
I opted to learn that Moon clip ASAP because I very much hate downstairs clip, which is obviously faster than the upstairs one.
Yeah.
So I just opted to learn that strat and just forego the entire roll cancel clip entirely.
Yeah, the thing is, you can even obviously try it, and your run wouldn't die immediately just off one miss there. Because especially, if you clean out the snow, and Kali is going to be doing it here, so he tries to really make that shot count. That's not going to work, though, I think.
I think so. I can't tell.
Nah, he was still very far away from the wall.
I actually do it in a very different spot.
Yeah, I'm not as close to the wall as well. Okay, and here we see downstairs clip and where everybody hates it. I guess
it's not too bad.
Commentators curse turnaround.
Oh.
Alright, so I really actually like this this room. There's some very interesting move that you can do before talking to the Shavarian. You can even do a dive for it there, which looks pretty fancy. Kali opting for a pretty common solution where you just dive triple jump.
So I'm wondering, well, most people I see that run World Peace, typically people like to guess the times. I don't know if that's a thing. That,
oh yeah, I mean, I did it before here with Aggie as we were commentating.
Right.
So we do have the chance to pretty much completely focus on Kali right now, and I'm going to be giving him a 57. I guess it's fine in a race to not go for the decimals. I'm just going to be saying the second. I'm going to be giving him a 57.
I do not know how well versed he is in Bound World, but I'm going to have the faith on the 54.
54? That sounds like a pretty generous guess, but we'll see how this one turns out. Actually, these first curves seem pretty nice, though. I'm pretty unfamiliar with what is actually considered a good lap time. Obviously, that one bounce there was surely not optimal, but I think sub 20 for the first lap is definitely still fine.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, my laps are typically 17. I think 17 or 18. The first lap is obviously gonna be longer.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, this does obviously seem like he's losing a little bit of speed there in the deeper snow. That last section is actually my worst. The part I hate the most, because it's really hard to not bounce against one of these diagonal walls.
JKB not even opting to go for the moonpip, just straight into the downstairs.
Okay, nice.
Going in pretty quick though.
Second try, I think, even.
Yeah. Very quick.
Oh, the 57. I was right. Okay, we do have time for a JKB prediction, and I'm going to be giving him a 55 actually today.
55. I don't know what to expect now. I think I'll go with the 56.
56 versus the 55.
I'm only saying 56 because JKB says he hasn't been playing much World Peace.
Yeah. And I'm fairly sure that we won't be seeing any snowdrams today, because obviously snowdram does save around 2 seconds if you do it here in World Peace at the last moon. However, in a race, that's probably not the best idea. Egg would actually opting to do snowdram early on, which is even crazier because you don't even get your visual cues. Just like if you go into first person mode, the game will not show you the visual cues like about the left and right stick, so you basically need to do it blindly.
Right.
Oh. Uh-oh. I think the 55 might have just died already for JKB there. Having a pretty hard off-road trip here.
I believe.
I mean, maybe he's just going to be flying through these last 2 laps, but a 23 first lap. Definitely not what he was looking for.
Carlo getting a second bite fish.
Wow, that second lap is actually looking very good though. Oh, nice. Getting the 17 there. Maybe he can still pull it off.
Yeah, it looks like Carlo did not for the snowdram, just going to the timer.
Yeah, and this moon is obviously the slowest of the ones we have available to us, but it's definitely very safe. And JKB adding actually with a 1 minute time here, but his second and third lap was actually still pretty decent. The first lap was just a little bit sloppy. Okay.
Now,
Carly going to be coming up at Seaside here, and as far as I know, he has been learning the new route changes to the kingdom.
Now, Carlo actually, I believe, like he knows quite a bit about the boss clip. The speedy strat for Mollusk.
Yeah. That's actually my biggest weakness as far as this category goes. The entire fight, I would even say, trying to have an optimal fight there is a science for itself. But
I will say, if you were going to be completely optimal, I don't even do the completely optimal strat.
Yeah, like the roll strat for the boss clip, which is like pretty ridiculous.
I know Kerbis does it, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody else who's actively doing it.
I don't know if Kerbis does it in runs. I've seen him do it on like a Twitter clip or something.
I'm very sure he does it in runs. I think because I've watched him a few times, I'm pretty sure he does go for it. I salute him because I can't get consistent at the moment. I've tried, but it's a scary trick.
Okay, let's see how this fishing goes for JKB here. I actually hate it when this fish ignores me, and then usually he would just despawn. But JKB got blessed by Poseidon, I guess. And,
no.
Never mind. Commentators curse being strong, as always.
That one's on you, not me.
I guess. Okay, let's see. Kali actually dropping the Gushin here, which is the optimal strat to go over to Dory right now, as JKB did end up catching the fish here. Ultimately, you want to be capturing this Gushin to fly over to Dory.
I was wondering this because I use the lower platform on Stone Pillar. I don't take the Gushin up I just go
Yeah,
straight
but
from that.
I know. If you take the lower, I mean, I've been talking about this with Neo, and I think he's still. I mean, I'm not actually. I don't want to say anything he didn't say, but he also brought up the fact that you wouldn't be able to use the lower platform, and still said that this would be actually the best way to do it because the Gushen is quite a bit faster than jumping over and even picking up the rocket flower.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, Mario's not very versatile in the water.
And in the air as well. I mean, the Gushen is just faster than in the air, even with vectoring. Alright. The dangerous ceiling acquired. Oh, Gushen being a little bit more dangerous though. Attacking Kali there as he tries to capture him. And over to the hot springs he goes. So all he needs to get now is the Cliff Moon and the last Story Moon. And then he's going to be off to fight Mollusk. I don't know his full name. Maybe you got it, but I'm pretty sure nobody actually can pronounce it. I don't know.
Brigadier Mollusk Lanceur III, Dauphine of Bublane.
Jesus. What a guy. What a boy.
I don't know if I said it correctly. I know those are the words. I don't know if I
Yeah.
pronounced them well enough.
It seemed right, I guess. Alright, so Kali gonna be
JKB
going
is
over
now.
there to Cliff.
JKB entering Seaside now.
Actually not waiting on top of the Odyssey, which is something that I've been doing, but I guess it wouldn't really matter if he did
Yeah,
like
I
Kali
think-
did it there.
You have to. Oh, he didn't actually land, so his height's not up.
I think he actually thought he was gonna get towed right there, but then he realized that he already got 2 moons.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because he kind of was flying. Oh, JKB realizing this Gushen would be despawning. So defaulting over to grab a new one. And JKB actually refilling the Gushen there with the checkpoint, which is not required because you want to be falling with the Gushen anyways. So you don't actually need to refill him, but wouldn't be losing that much time anyways. So Kalia fighting Brigadier Mollusk, blah 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 right now.
I'm a fan of that name.
Yeah. It's gonna be my official calling of him now. But these first 2 hits definitely look clean.
Yeah.
JKB actually, it looks like maybe the Gushen actually still despawned in the position he was in. So he just fell down now. And ended up just grabbing this cheap, which is interesting because I still feel like the rocket flower would have been the faster choice. But since he was kind of to the right, might as well just pick up this cheap there. I'm not sure in which spot Dory is gonna be though.
Oh, they're getting the boss clip off.
Nice, clean fight.
Yeah, pretty good.
Dory's
Felt like
actually-
he went way past the hot spring after the clip, but it was a pretty good fight.
Nice, definitely clean C-set here for Kali actually. Getting all of the strats.
This is actually, Seaside is definitely one I need to practice for the World Peace, the new route. It seems pretty straightforward enough, I just haven't put it to practice yet.
I'm also pretty interested, by the way, about the final time here for Kali. I'm not fully aware what his current PB is, but looking back, obviously he did have this one fall in Metro, but other than that, this run has been pretty solid.
Yeah.
It's not. Also, this C-set was definitely going pretty well. So JKB also opting to go for the newest Seaside route. It's going to be getting the Cliff Moon, and then going to be flying over to the Canyon.
Yeah, he flew very wide.
Yeah, interesting. Opting for some darker side movement there.
Now we come to the last unique to World Peace Kingdom route.
Which is probably not only the scariest, but also the best. It's not the most different one, you cannot really say that, but there's just a lot of stuff to do in Luncheon here, because it's basically like the Wooden situation, where you only do half the kingdom in any percent. So we need to do the entire other half here in Luncheon, which makes us also grab some different moons. starting off though, still going to be getting the same first 3 moons at least, but after that the route is going to be changing because we don't have time to enter the sub-room. Whew.
Jumps right over that one.
Yeah, that actually can happen easily whenever you don't look at the moon in time. The game wouldn't really fully load it in.
One of my favorite aspects of this game. Things
not being on camera, not existing. Imagine life would be like that. Just don't look at it, it won't be existing anymore. That would actually be genius. I want to be Mario now.
Can't tell if JKB got the clip. Yeah, he definitely got the clip.
Yeah.
Oh, he did an interesting way.
Very nice snipe. I like that.
2 bosses dying at the same time. Mollusk and Spewart.
So after Spewart, the luncheon route is going to be changing, though, especially the first movement that higher profile runners do after the Spewart fight is pretty interesting, where you have to basically time a triple jump on top of this little wooden pillar.
Yes.
Let's see how they managed to do that.
Ooh.
Oh, interesting.
Maybe feels more comfortable. Maybe feels more comfortable with this movement.
Yeah, this seems like a pretty safe option. It doesn't seem terribly slow, for sure. Just seems like a little bit of a slower, safer version. Great Moon is next, and then it's going to be heading over to a Cheese Story Moon. And I would really love to be somehow able to get this Turnip Moon right here, because I do hate the timer challenge at the start of at the start of Luncheon 2, even though it's not Luncheon 2, it's just the second part of Luncheon, because it makes movement so up. Yeah, Luncheon, exactly. It makes things so awkward not being able to control Cappy. I would really love to just like spin pound and go right over there to overlooking the ingredients, but currently not possible because the timer is right now yet still the fastest available moon.
I actually think my route might be wrong for this. JKB going for the salt pile triple. Didn't get it, unfortunately, but
pretty decent that backup for sure.
Recovered very quickly from it.
Right, Kalia opting for pretty old strats here after the torch, definitely. Just lining up all of these older strats but playing them well. So he's definitely still on a very decent run here for sure. Also definitely some safer movement here, but as I just said, we cannot blame him. He's performing that just right.
Oh, lost
that's for some reason. Yeah, probably like a buffered jump that managed. Yeah. That's where the game thought he actually didn't touch the ground, so it didn't allow him to bounce on Cappy.
Fortunately, it wasn't above the lava there though, so it was fine.
Alright, Kalia being done with Luncheon 0.75 now, but capturing... Oh, JKB actually fighting Spewart the hard way here, dodging the poison on the ground. But Kalia did capture the meat and also got the meat multi-moon.
And now we get to watch your favorite moon, the timer.
The sad thing is I actually came up with movement for this, where you do like a spin throw, power roll, long jump, like some cool stuff, but it still feels not only risky to do, but it still just feels bad, especially the movement after the timer is what I'm having a problem with.
Right.
The timer itself.
I used to have a lot of trouble. I would wait because my triple would never make it. Yeah, so like here I would just wait for Cappy back.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now, and it just feels wrong. That's why I might just get the turnip mode even though it's slower, because at least I can feel nice. I don't know. I mean, we're gonna look into this more.
Yeah.
But Kali is gonna be heading into the Volcano Cave. I don't even know if that has an official name.
Volcano Cave, yeah.
It's actually the official name. Oh, let's go.
Well, I mean, the checkpoint I believe is called. I want to say it's volcano cave entrance, but I'm not 100%. I know it's. I would call it the volcano cave.
Yeah.
It's the cave for the volcano.
Yeah, and this cave is actually really interesting as far. Oh wow, JKB actually ending up getting this turnip moon. Oh wow, he's probably actually going to be doing turnip clip here, the world peace version, because he did set up this turnip here. He does need to do this triple jump. Gets the throw over. That's interesting to see.
I mean, I wouldn't blame him at this point for just going for everything.
Yeah, for sure. He does need to readjust this turnip. Doing it on the right side of the cage is something I haven't seen in a long time, but it obviously still works if he manages to get the Pandro in the right position. Struggling with that a little bit right now. This might work if he captures him fast enough. A little bit too far. Oh no. He doesn't want to clip. Oh no, he kills him. Okay, there's still another one, JKB. You can pull this off. Okay, Kale definitely not being a Cooper free runner right there. It feels like I'm roasting everyone right now, but I just gotta...
Oh, JKB does get the turnip clip in the end though.
Obviously, Kale's actually still on a pretty solid run.
And now Carlo going into one of the most notorious bosses in the game. Very strong feelings of hatred from a lot of people for this boss.
Yeah, I just love him. He's so fun to fight.
Funnily enough, this is still my favorite boss.
What? I guess
I like my favorite aspect of this boss is that unlike most bosses, you can skip the downtime.
Okay, that's definitely a point for Cockatiel. And I do like Luncheon in general, as far as like the aesthetic of the kingdom goes, the idea of the kingdom goes. I also like the vibrancy like of this boss fight, but
I know it's the hitboxes.
Yeah.
Which I am politely ignoring for it.
Yeah, you need to, because if you would factor them, you cannot call this guy your favorite boss. But if you ignore them politely, I guess you can give it to him.
If I had a bit of trouble on the third phase, but I really liked Carlo's second phase there, just shot straight up. Fast dashes.
Yeah, and pretty much collecting, I mean, almost, actually, just barely collecting the multi-moons at the same time here. As JKB just finished up Luncheon 1, and Kali, I guess, 1.5. But yeah, Kali getting the boss kill here, as JKB is still on his way to even challenge Cockatiel. However, what is going to be a pretty interesting dynamic is, I think, as far as any percent goes, JKB has been running it a little bit more. I'm not exactly sure what Kali's any percent is, but it obviously will come in. No.
Funnily enough, I think JKB just skipped timer challenge, which I'm assuming that's what his turnip replacement moon was.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he got the turnip cooking moon, and I mean, if you do turnip clip, I think that it's still the turnip moon definitely has to be first, because you need to unplug one turnip anyways, so might as well get the golden one.
So there you go, Lim. Just learn turnip.
Just do turnip clip forehead. No, but I mean, I would be interested in doing the turnip even without the clip.
Right. I mean, I'm sure it's not that much slower.
I don't even know if it's slow at all. I'm not sure. I actually been posting a clip of it where you triple jump up to the pillar while the turnip is cooking in the pot.
Right.
And I actually want to look into this. But as we said before, these moons are all pretty close, and it's going to be up to movement optimizations, which moon will come out on top.
So Carla going into another fun boss, which not much to say about this guy.
I mean, he's in every category, I guess. I mean, if you don't count festival percent and all of these category extension board categories, but we will see Mr. Ruined in every main category at least.
I do feel a disturbance at the distinct lack of Captain Toad in this arena. Due to 1.0.
That's pretty sad, because on 1.2, even though obviously you don't need coins, as we said, in this run, you can at least have Captain Toad, Captain Toad cheer you on. Okay, JKB with the vault there. Interesting, does not get the cap return jump, so he's going to be losing some speed. Going for the Cooper free running strats right now. No spin throw, but manages to get on top.
I'm really bad at the dash into that pot there.
Yeah, I think what I do is I just do like one dash and one high
And then
jump,
one
but it's
big
probably
jump,
slow.
yeah, that's what I do. I can't imagine it's too much of a difference.
It
but,
can't
I mean,
really be,
yeah. One thing I have noticed for Cockatiel is if you just don't dash, I find that and just hold Y to move underneath Cockatiel, I very consistently hit his stomach. Like dashing like this, I find it harder to hit his stomach. JKB gets it here, but I just find it easier to slow down a bit.
Alright, Kali is done with Ruined, as JKB is about to end Cockatiel fight, so pretty much one boss between them, in this case being the Ruined Dragon. Does the Ruined Dragon actually have an official name? Like
The
Thunder Dragon or something?
Lord of Lightning.
Lord of Lightning.
And
Jesus.
the multi-moon is called a battle with the Lord of Lightning.
His name is definitely way more epic than the actual fight. I guess as a casual player, the fight is epic.
I do like the rematch multi-moon name better though. Rumblin' Crumbledon rematch.
Wait, for the dragon? Jesus.
Yeah, every multi-moon rematch has a very catchy name.
Cool. Yeah, I've been also seeing some interesting clips, by the way, in that arena, where people were just able to keep momentum because of the ice. But other than that, I mean, that's obviously not really relevant for world peace right now. Might be interesting for the potential AOM relay plans that we've been talking about, mainly for fun, but we'll see. Maybe they'll turn out into anything.
So now for Carla and actually JKB, because he's just finishing up with lunch, and it's just any percent pretty much from here on out.
Exactly. Which, once again, might actually be in favor for JKB because he has been, I think he has been running 80% a little more, but obviously since Kalia has been running World Peace, he has been doing this, and he's actually opting to miss the Bird Ram strat, which is a pretty close in Speed Moon to the other one.
I actually opt for this moon any percent as well. I believe that most people still opt for Box Moon despite the Bird Moon being slightly faster, I believe. Well, I don't know if it's actually slightly faster. I think wasn't the timing like quite old now?
Yeah, the thing is, Echo has actually been showing off a strat in last race that easily makes the Box Moon a little bit faster if you were to go for this movement. But these two moons will always be, this is another example, these will always be so close that if one gets optimized by one strat, it might become faster just off of that. So it's really personal preference.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you do opt for the Bird Moon probably because of personal preference, right?
Yeah, I just think it's cooler, to be honest.
I mean, if you get it, it is definitely cooler. And the other one is just scarier, so might as well be cooler and safer.
There's also the fact I actually don't know the optimal movement for Box Moon or Hidden Corridor under the floor.
Yeah. And it is quite scary if you want to do it optimally because the camera is not in your favor.
Right.
Even after you get the movement done for the boxes. Okay, Kali opting for some fairly standard movement in Charles playing it safe. Once again, he has a very confident lead right now, so all he needs to do is not throw this away by dying. So it's probably the best choice. JKB being on the last phase here in the Dragon fight. 1 HP actually starting out.
I'm not saying anything.
No, let's just watch this. Okay, we are here.
After everything that's happened so far, I think I'll just watch.
Yeah. A Death in Festival and Ruined would be quite interesting, however. But JKB definitely avoids that one. Ooh, little wall strat there for this moon. I like it, I like it.
So is Carla a Topper or Harriet first kind of player?
It's definitely going to be
looking like
deciding
a-
the fate of this race. Oh, yeah, he's winning. He's winning. He's winning for sure.
Actually, I'm pretty sure that's a loss on my from me, dog.
Yeah, once again, doesn't really matter, but there's some heavy discussion going on in the community about these boss fights, and we do have some very strong divisions. Topper first versus Harriet first. Who's gonna come out on top?
I mean, it's in his name, right? Topper.
Oh god. I guess. Dude, maybe you guys are onto something, and apparently doing Topper first on mech is like the fastest strat, and you've been trying to tell us all the time, but we were not listening.
Tried to tell you, my dude.
Wait, what if Harriet first is fastest? Anyways, Cardi fighting Topper second here. Definitely gaining some time over Topper first. And yeah, only this boss fight between him and Mecha Brutal, because he did get the bird.
Pretty solid bruise.
Yeah.
Oh, and yeah.
Oh, JKB also opting. JKB probably also opting for the bird capture warp here. With the backflip setup, I like it. I like it.
Ooh,
Makes this
that
one
was
probably
very
insane.
classy.
All right. JKB getting the ground pound hit on the Ogre as Kali is about to climb the last section of Bowser's Kingdom. And since he doesn't have to pick up a moon, he can just move around these, I guess, sections here with the boulders trying to shoot him. All he needs to do is avoid them and then make that jump over to the Pokio and climb up to mech. Long jump there, interesting. Probably going to be opting for a wall jump. Cannot blame him, seems pretty safe.
Pretty okay. Curious about JKB shots.
Pretty standard first shot. This one looks a little bit interesting, but probably no down throw shenanigans or anything.
Okay.
Is he almost so right now he might actually be opting for the triple jump, but since he did lose his speed, it's gonna be close. This does actually end up on top.
I actually did not know you could do that.
Yeah, that's actually something that Shaden has been doing like right before he quit, and before for the longest time it was gonna be faster, but just barely slower than the optimal like dive back strat. However, that's still a thing that you can do to save.
Carla doing was that spew? Oh no, did he do a spew at first? Yeah.
Oh yeah, he climbed left side, right?
Yeah. I couldn't tell. I couldn't see Topper's bubble.
Yeah, so he did.
So I wasn't
the
sure if I
OG mech.
missed two phases or something.
The
But no,
OG
he
bird
did
was
do.
mech. And this is right now what Kali has been showing. He has been doing some quote-unquote outdated strats, but he's been doing them well. So he's
Yeah.
still definitely on a good run.
Oh, unfortunate with Rango there. Might just opt to wait the 5-step. Oof, that was close. Now will JKB redeem? Yes! Yes, you
Let's
will!
go. The Topper first camp.
This race has already been decided for me.
Okay, Kali with a solid mech though. So this is one of the very last risks between him and taking this win right now. Obviously, we do still have to go through Moon, not through the Moon Caverns, but we do still have to go through the Moon Kingdom and still have to defeat Bowser and escape the place as well.
Mm-hmm.
And this cutscene is just horrible, by the way. Just making sure that you guys see this again. But yeah, after you defeat Mecha Brutal, you are waiting for I think 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Is it really
which is
that
just
long?
torture.
That's
It's literally
that's a long
when he
time.
explodes, it's literally 90 seconds.
Right.
By the way,
Honestly,
90 seconds,
that
90 seconds
till
until you
the fade out, right?
Yeah, until they faded on Bowser's, but then you still need to choose Moon, and you still need
Yeah,
to.
you got the 4 cutscene skips and.
Yeah, it's literally like 2 minutes of downtime.
And I imagine that's quite a lot of downtime when you're at the end of a run in this or any percent or anything that just doesn't go to post game. It's like a pause where you're just kind of worried if you're going to PB or choke or.
Exactly. I mean, it's actually like if you think about it like that, it's actually really nice especially for at least I guess world peace and any percent, because you are coming up very close to the end of the run, so you do get to take this last breather before the final rush.
I never really noticed the downtime, I guess because of all the menuing.
Exactly, you still do need to press some buttons. And also, after the mech explodes, you still need to like spin pound into the Grand Moon, I guess. Ooh, JKB's movement, they're hot stuff.
JKB's movement scaring me a little bit. But the roll, he rolled towards the Pokio. Kind of worried before capturing it.
But right now he's also having some issues with this climb, has been falling in the first section. Obviously he doesn't want to end up in the poison there, but manages to get that climb just nicely now.
Pause there.
Kalia bridging that gap here only. Wow, I was about to say bridging that grab again, but Kalia making it over there with only 1 rocket flower in a triple jump into an instant attempt for the moon cave skip, and that actually looks quite good. Ooh. I don't know why he threw Cappy there though, because that probably ended up killing it.
JKB going for the left side as well. With the spin pound on Spiot though.
Nice. Kalia getting Mooncave skip just now though. Wow.
A lot of pauses.
They can be with an interesting pause.
He paused,
Not the best place to pause.
He paused in the pylon before coming up to the fight as well.
Alright, and Kalia off to fight. Bowser is starting this with the spin pound. He definitely has the energy. He wants to take this guy down. However, I do actually want to take a quick peek at the leaderboards, because I feel like there might be a tiny chance that Halim might be on PB pace.
Yeah, I was kind of curious as well. I don't actually know his PB.
So as far as I know, it might be a very high 121. And that is actually, I think, beatable on this pace still.
Oh, JKB actually had to use the bird there.
Okay, it's actually mid 121. That might be quite hard. He might be able to tie or just barely beat. We'll see. It's actually right now a 121.
He did it again though. The damageless third phase, I believe.
Interesting choice. Because I mean, it's obviously the same mechanic.
My apologies.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's just a little bit more heads around. We'll see if he actually opts to do the damageless here though, because it is the same as in the other strats. It's just easier to do the damage boosts. Right now he's only at 2 HP, so it might actually be in his favor to skip them. Okay, goes for the damage.
Yeah.
Gets the head.
Should be fine.
PB probably not possible anymore.
He's punching him and it was very worrying for me after saying he should be fine. After everything else I've said, I didn't want to.
Yeah, you don't want to jinx that one, but he ends up taking Bowser down, and he's off to the very last section of the run. Only escape section left to go, and his PB is probably not going to be happening anymore. But he's still off to go to finish this run and get the win in if he doesn't end up making some horrible mistakes here on this escape section.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid run though. No real standout mistakes from him, I feel like. Like you say, a few old pieces of movement, but like nothing. But he did, as you say, he did it well.
Like literally the only thing I remember right now, the only visible mistake was him falling after the swing in the Breeze Moon in Night Metro.
Yeah.
And other than that, it feels like nothing major happening. I mean, I guess he did his Moon Clip and took a few attempts there to get the downstairs Snow Clip. But other than that, this has been super solid. skip. Not a problem for Cardi here. Managing to make that look easy.
JKB coming into the moon now.
Escadia is going to be entering the very last room right now, which is obviously the very famous pillar room. It's all about making the shots count. Doesn't look too good for him right now. He obviously doesn't need them to win the race, so that's definitely a relief. As I heard, your favorite room in the game, hearing.
It's up there now.
For sure.
Definitely up there
Can
now.
be very frustrating though. Like, imagine that wouldn't have happened on your run. I mean, on everyone's run. I haven't seen so many runs die to this room. It is so underrated still. The thing is, you cannot really efficiently practice this because these tiny little angles matter here. But Kalia is going to be closing out this match with assumably something like, what would look like a very low 121 5x. Maybe even a 5, like just a 50. Yeah.
Maybe 51.
Oh, yeah. Definitely solid time. Only 30 seconds, not even 30 seconds actually, away from his PB. Definitely what he would have wanted for this one. Taking the win and getting a very solid time. JKB off to fight Bowser here, getting his rematch in. Scarly is going to be relieved right now, taking the win, watching some credits. Actually skipping the credits, but still.
You gotta talk to Toadette, of course.
I mean, definitely is something we should do. I do get in notice here from the production that we won't be having any time for the post-game interview, because we are going to be hosting the Task 2 results immediately after this one, and this time we will be having some extras for you guys. We will be having the full video, obviously, the leaderboards, the full times, and we also going to be having some extras. We're going to be looking at Task 3 and obviously going to be seeing all of the results for Task 2, so you definitely want to be staying tuned right now. This is going to be happening immediately, probably in around 5 minutes as we transition over, like 5 to 6 minutes. And yeah, that's definitely something you should be around for. It's going to be very hyped to watch.
I can confirm as someone who actually doesn't submit. I do actually do the tasks. I just don't submit the time. Because I get curious. I like to give it a go. But even as someone who doesn't actively submit, it is quite entertaining to watch. Like I watched the task 1. It's very interesting.
Very interesting what people come up with. And I feel like especially this week's task has been completely up to the player. Like, there's been so many movements that you could do over another movement to save just a tiny bit of time. So I think we will be seeing different routes, different strats, like even in the top 25. So it's definitely going to be a very interesting result stream. But for now, JKB is off to finish this run. We might not actually be having the time to watch him talk to Toadette, what Cardia basically just did to confirm that world peace is acquired. But JKB is probably not going to be looking at a PB here, so he should be fine anyways. And I mean, you guys all witnessed him getting the world peace here.
I believe it.
JKB managing to close up this 2D section as he is going over to the very last room of the game.
Hopefully he can close out gracefully with a nice pillar room.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he can technically just barely still get the 125. It's going to be super close and needs to play almost perfectly to get it with early pillars as well. But it's technically possible. Which is obviously like a nice time still. With the mistakes he made with the festival death, that's definitely respectable.
Yeah.
These shots look solid, at least the last 3 ones.
Yeah, I mean, with the festival death, that's multiple minute mistakes. So without that, we're looking like a 123. So yeah, I would say
Yeah, for sure.
it's a very solid time.
All right. JKB defeating this pillar. I guess it's not defeating him, but taking it down. I guess only 2 shots to make here. Lands both of them. So he's off to finish his race as well with a... I'm assuming it's just barely going to be a very, very low 126. Trying the pylon there. Shooting out of the wire. And getting a 126.03. And with that, guys, I'm going to be calling this race. Kali with a very confident win here, opting for some very safe strats, but performing them just right, getting the new route optimizations in, and Seaside doing his safe version of the Sentry route, and basically gaining in all these little time saves. Obviously, very minor mistakes, if any. So definitely deserved that win here. JKB, very unfortunate stuff happening to him, but still showing off some cool movements, getting all of the optimized strats in, like pipe clip and all that jazz. But other than that, Kali is going to be going into the next round of the World Peace Tournament. This is just going to be getting hotter and hotter from race to race.
Actually, he's going up against me, I believe, next.
Ooh, that sounds like an interesting matchup. So I already wish you best of luck for that. But however, Timothy, thank you so much for co-commentating with me today. And
fun.
guys, stay tuned right now, because we are going to be transitioning over very quickly here to the Task 2 results live on Speedrun SMO. So you guys have fun, watch these results, and see you guys soon.